All right, how are we doing, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. There we go. Let's get the cameras set up, everybody. Excellent. Looking good. Excellent. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Saturday Tea Time. Just chilling out, hanging out with everybody. It's definitely great to be able to see everybody. I haven't done a live stream in, I think, 2 or 3 weeks because I was over in Taiwan. So if anybody has any questions about my trip to Taiwan, if anybody has any tea questions in general, and if you are watching right now and you want to get your tea out and break your tea out so we can all have tea together, you are very much welcome. Craig probably on Instagram says, thanks so much for getting me into good tea. Thank you for listening. It's been a journey to try to get people into realizing how good the good tea is, but I'm definitely glad to be able to be getting there. So welcome to everybody who is just joining. We just started, so if you guys are here, Haughty says, literally having tea with my friends, having a 30-year pour. Ooh, damn. I don't even think I'm gonna be having anything that nice today. Although, like, you know, maybe I should break out the good stuff. Maybe, why not? Anyway. Great questions over here, by the way. What do we say? I never see you. Did you bring back any tea that you'll be drinking here? Also, how are you? Yeah, that's basically, so for those of you who don't know, I was just in Taiwan for 2 weeks. I have this basically is the, all of the samples that I brought back. I brought back a whole lot of different samples. I've actually picked the 4 teas that are gonna be in our oolong box, but not all of those are in here, or I don't know exactly. I'm gonna have some High Mountain oolong to start off, just because that's like the thing you do if you go to Taiwan and you have tea, you get the High Mountain oolong. So very, very cool. Question, Hyperproxy says, have you seen the recent videos of the beautiful Chinese girl doing tea and slamming the cups? I have. I've been sent that about 100 times. They're cool videos. I do have to say, I'm gonna go on a little rant here, maybe to help me shape out my thoughts for doing a video on this. I hate that all of the best tea stuff in China, all the best, like, these higher quality tea videos that are coming over to the Western internet, they're all stolen. Every single one of them. They're not giving credit to the original creators. They're just whole accounts whose only job is to steal the best tea content from the Chinese internet and then just repost it, and then people don't know. So, like, you know, those videos have watermarks on them, and they're not the original creator that's sharing them. So as a creator, I don't like it. As a tea guy, I'm like, it's great that people are actually getting into tea. So it's you know, either way, it's completely out of my control. So I just kind of have to let it go. But yes, I have seen the videos. They are pretty cool. I'm going to be having some High Mountain oolong. By the way, if you guys are just watching or just joining for the first time, I'm Jesse. I'm a tea guy. I lived in China for 9 years. I got really into tea while I was there. My actual job there is I was a Chinese comedian. I wrote and was a cast member and a writer on, like, the Chinese version of Saturday Night Live. I was on the Chinese version of Last Comic Standing. And then tea was like my hobby, and then COVID hit and I couldn't go back to China, and I had years of not being able to perform comedy. And so now I started a tea channel, which is all my info for my hobbies and just being a tea guy. And that's kind of taken off now. And so now I do tea and comedy stuff, both. D asks, do you ship internationally? Yes, I do. If anybody wants to go to my shop, jessesteahouse.com, I'm Jesse. All of the tea on there is tea from my friends who have lived all over China and Taiwan. And we have excellent tea. We can ship internationally. Just make sure to use a credit or debit card, because PayPal will not work. And be aware there may be taxes or duties or VAT. I have no idea. It's impossible for me to know before you make the order, and then after you make the order, you've already made the order. So just be aware that there may be some extra taxes and stuff. So cheers. We're gonna be drinking this High Mountain oolong. Here we go. Very, very cool. OCM dude on YouTube says, woke up and broke out the red jade. That's a great tea. Very, very good. Jen's hungry says, very excited for the oolong box. I am as well. Here are the High Mountain oolong leaves that we're going to be making today. Very, very cool. Johnny says, where do you get that shirt? My dad got this for me. My dad has 10 times the fashion sense that I have, and so every time he picks something for me, if I'm wearing something very simple, I picked it out. If I'm wearing something funky, my dad picked it out. And between the two of them, I vacillate wildly in my fashion sense between one place and the other. Very, very cool. By the way, I have a TikTok over here, YouTube over here, and Instagram over here. So if I am answering questions that are not on your screen, that's why. Hello, Jesse, from everybody. Anand is having some Chimen, great tea. We will be back in stock on it soon. We will be back in stock in everything soon. We have, 5, 6 shipments that are coming every month. So basically every week or every couple days, we're getting new shipments in. Unfortunately, we are selling them out basically as soon as we get them. So it's hard. I really just want to be in stock, and I understand everybody's frustrated, and thank you again so much for your patience, everybody waiting out our craziness while we're trying to figure it out. Questions over here. Villain Vidison asks, hey Jesse, are there big differences between tea culture in the regions/countries you visited? I mean, tea culture, the cool thing about tea culture is every country in the world and even many regions have their own tea cultures. I was just in Taiwan for 2 weeks, so I can talk a little bit about Taiwan. Taiwan is, it had a very deep tea culture, especially in oolong tea. The oolong tea there is really, really good. That's what we're drinking right now, the High Mountain Oolong. And they have a lot of people who are like 3rd generation tea farmers that have been doing oolong for 3, 4 generations. They are very, very precise in how they use their fertilizer and how they, is it organic? Is it non-organic fertilizer? Is it they're very careful about the environmental impacts of how they grow the tea to be able to make sure that they get the best flavor. And they also are very adept at the process of making the oolong, roasting the oolong. Do we want it unroasted? Do we want it roasted? Recently, this unroasted High Mountain, very clear, light, crisp, fresh flavor has kind of taken over and is popular there. But there's many different types of great tea. We have lots of amazing comments over here coming from YouTube. In fact, so many, they're coming by. By the way, if I miss your comment and it goes by, feel free to repost it. Over here it says, I've been doing oolong raw pour. I've been doing raw pour for almost a year. Most sheng pu'er tastes the same. Why do people taste like fruits like papaya in theirs? So the taste is a weird thing to try to explain to other people. You taste one thing, somebody else might taste another. I think that part of it could depend on where you're getting your sheng pu'er. I don't know if you're getting it from good sources. My guess is if you already been drinking for a year or so, got really nice fragrance on here. Give you guys a little sniff. I think that that whether you taste those flavors, you might taste something a little different than somebody else. I definitely have been able to tell in for instance, the Master Box tea, the Master Box Raw Pu'er that we have out, the Tianjiajai 2023 Sheng Pu'er on the site. I get lemon in that. I definitely get citrus, lemon, that sort of flavor there. But again, it's not like it's going to be lemon juice. It's a hint of the flavor. It's not like you're eating a lemon. So I think that part of it might just be, taking it more in holistically and then see what you taste. Because if other people say they taste papaya and you don't taste papaya, then that's fine. The important thing is that you enjoy the tea. So you can check out here. Very, very nice. Very, very nice High Mountain Oolong. Cheers, everybody. If you guys have the time and the ability to be sitting down and drink some tea with me, I highly encourage it. Cheers. Look at how clear that is. Very, very clear. Very, very crystal clear. Oh, very nice. Excellent. Keep going with the questions. And by the way, I do apologize if I'm missing your questions over here. Bingy says, sup Jesse, how was your trip to Taiwan? I mean, it was great. I was there 12 days. I feel like I did 2 months of living in 12 days. It was pretty packed. Every day I was seeing multiple friends, eating, drinking tea, sourcing new teas. I had to track down where the best place to be able to get you guys tea is. Before I left, I did this Taiwan mystery oolong box or mystery drop. I wasn't sure what I was gonna get, but I knew that if I go to Taiwan and drink all these teas, 100% chance you guys will be like, bring me back some. So basically, I did this thing that's still on the website now. You can pre-order it. Now it's listed as the Jesse in Taiwan oolong sampler. I was like, if I go, then people are going to want the tea. And so I just did this thing where you can put down $50 and then you'll get a box of the of whatever it is that I come up with. And originally I was thinking maybe I could even just do it simply, buy a bag like this, send a bunch of these to people once you find the right tea to put in the bag. But then we pre-ordered so many of them, I was like, this is actually an opportunity to do something much better. And so we're actually going to be spending a lot more energy and time on it than I thought. It will delay the delivery a little bit, but you guys, I'm sure you guys will really like what we're doing. We're gonna have 4 oolongs at different places around the mountain, different roasting methods, different strengths, different mouthfeel, different rarity. I have information about it up on the website now. Like, it's gonna be much better than if I just slapped a label on this and send it over. So that was a lot of work to do in 12 days to find that sort of stuff. Go to the tea mountain, personally kind of like take a look at the mountain and see how people are doing the tea, the roasting of the tea, the people who are doing the tea, talk to them, build the trust and the connection, because tea is all about trust. You need to know as a vendor, like, you need to know when you buy stuff from me that it's going to be the same that was in the bag last time. And similarly, I need to know that when I place an order from a tea farmer, like when they show me the good tea and we drink the good tea in their house, that we're going to actually get the good tea for you guys when it goes over. So it's a lot about process and trust, and it can't really be rushed. And I wasn't sure that I'd be able to get it done in 12 days, but I think I did a pretty good job of it. Yeah, in theory, if I had stuck around another half a year, could I have found better? Maybe. I honestly, I don't think we could have done much better, because we have really good tea that's coming. I'm very happy with the results that we got. Cheers. More questions, by the way. I apologize if I missed questions. Questions from another one says, how hard was it for you to pick up the subtle notes of like lemon? I can tell the difference between teas, but picking up subtleties is difficult. I think part of it is drinking a lot of tea. You get just better at it. Also, weirdly enough, I think that when you're not under pressure to taste stuff, you taste more stuff. Like if you're like having a conversation with a friend and like, you know, you're drinking this tea and you're like, I think I got a little lemon in there. You know, like it kind of comes out that way. But when you're like, okay, what, you know, like, what am I drinking? Here we go. What am I picking up? You know, I think that a little bit of concentration can be good. Too much concentration sometimes like freaks you out. And so it's definitely kind of a, you know, and then of course, trying a lot of teas, trying different types of teas. I think it can also be helpful sometimes to sit with somebody that's drunk a lot of teas and ask them how they go about tasting it. So kind of exactly how you're doing here, because my advice might be a good fit for you, but maybe somebody else's advice is better. And the more people you ask, the more perspective you can kind of get on that. So very, very cool. Questions. Jordan USA says, how do you use a clip to close the bag? Great question. So I include these with a lot of my oolong teas. These are in Taiwan, they call these jingu bang. The jingu bang, the golden staff, is the name of the staff used by the Monkey King. If we have any Dragon Ball fans in there, Goku's staff is the jingu bang. So that's kind of their jokey name for these things. If you look here, it has a kind of like a tooth, one long tooth that runs down the middle of the thing. And so what you do is you just take the bag, you give it like a loop, like an upside down U, so that loop there is going to fit right into the tooth. And then you just slide it in. You just slide it in like that. And that keeps the bag airtight. Fun fact I learned in Taiwan is that the reason why you want to keep your oolongs airtight, especially the unroasted ones, is because they still have moisture content in them, because of the roasting method doesn't get all of the moisture out. And so they will eventually lose flavor and start to kind of lose fragrance, lose flavor as they're exposed to air. But the ones that we're getting for you guys are special because we are getting oolong that has been charcoal roasted, not electric roasted. So there's only a couple people left in Taiwan that do the traditional charcoal roasting method. I got a chance to go and see them. And this was this charcoal roasting method. It has a very low, even heat because they burn this charcoal fire and then smother it with ash. and they use the ash in order to regulate the fire temperature. And that creates a very even, smooth environment for being able to roast the oolong. So the result is that charcoal roasted oolong is exactly the type of oolong you should get if you want to age it. And really, it really doesn't have any worry about being exposed to air, because it just it doesn't have that issue. So very, very cool. What is a John C. Reilly look? I'm getting the feeling I need to cut my hair. This is what happens to my hair when I don't do anything to it. It just kind of goes into a Jew fro. So I think I may be at the point where I need to cut my hair. That's what I'm hearing. Questions. Foodie Love says, what visa do you get to live in China? That's a very complicated question. I had many visas during my time in China. I was never illegal, but there is, my job was doing comedy, and there was no visa for comedians. So at different times, I had a student visa, I had a business visit visa, I had a visiting scholar visa back when I was a Fulbright scholar. I eventually started my own company and then invited myself over for business trips for my company because that was easier than getting a work visa. And now finally, after 9 years of trying, basically, I finally have a work visa. And so my current visa right now is work visa, work permit, and I can go back whenever I want, which is great. Kind of whenever I want. It's a little bit complicated, but basically, yes, the visa thing is hard. China does not make it easy. It was actually kind of fun to just land in Taiwan and have 90 days. Americans can land in Taiwan and don't need to apply for a visa ahead of time and get 90 days to stay. That's a very, very good visa treatment, although you can't work on that visa. So cheers. Cheers, guys. Get some of that good tea. Excellent. Any other questions? By the way, if I miss your questions, please just do post it again. I have a bunch of stuff coming back. Hunter asks, is the Year of the Dragon tea set coming back? It is. Let me grab you my Dragon Gaiwan to show you. This is the, I really feel bad I didn't get enough of these. This was supposed to be our New Year's sale, and we sold out of them so quick. This is the Year of the Dragon Gaiwan set, Gold Dragon, flashy gold dragon Gaiwan, absolutely beautiful. I bought 300 of these and we sold out in a couple days. It's nuts. So we will be restocking them, but it's probably going to take until after, I'd say maybe April or May to get them, because everybody's going into Chinese New Year mode in China, and they're not gonna pack boxes, they're not gonna ship, they're not going to do any work for like 2 weeks starting next week. But everybody is so busy with their other stuff that you can't just like make an order the week before Chinese New Year and have everybody grind on your stuff right before Chinese New Year. So, but the dragon sets are beautiful. We also have a dragon scroll, which I actually don't have mine yet because mine is in the mail heading to me as well. But we had a calligrapher in China handwrite 300 scrolls with the character dragon on them specifically for Jesse's Tea House. A very unique sort of thing. Hello, thank you for the hat. Somebody gave me a hat. I appreciate it. Jordan USA, thank you, appreciate it. The scrolls are beautiful, and I cannot wait to get mine because I'm definitely going to hang it up in my apartment. Very, very nice stuff. Questions? Is there any significance to the mala you keep by your tea tray? Maya? I can't quite make out what that is. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But tell me again if I can understand it. Ximan Kwai Le from Food is Love. Thank you. Happy New Year to you guys too. Right over here, where can I get the Chonky Horse? He's on my website. Chonky Horse, Horse Tea Pet, jessesteahouse.com. He's so thick. Big boy. Very, very nice. Yeah, he's a good boy. Give the tea pet some love here. So in Taiwan, they actually recently, it's been a little bit more of a I'd say 20 years or so in Taiwan. Their tea style is called dry steeping. This is called wet steeping, where there's water being spilled everywhere. In dry steeping, they don't use a tray with a drain. They have basically a board where they have all of the equipment I have here, but instead of pouring off onto a board, they'll also have a separate bowl, like a large bowl, to the side, and all of the wash steeps go into that bowl. So occasionally you'll see a tea pet living in the bowl, but they use tea pets a lot less in Taiwan because the tea pets are really part of the wet steeping method, because you got to pour your tea on them. So very, very cool. Cheers. Very nice, very nice. Questions, are we gonna restock the snake tea pets? Yes, we have more coming. We're trying really hard to keep up with even tracking what we're selling is hard at this point, because like everything is moving so fast. So we're like, one of my business problems is like trying to figure out a software that will help us predict how much stuff we should order based off of how much we've been selling. That seems like a simple problem, and it would be if everything had been in stock, but because we've been out of stock of stuff and then go back in and go out, our numbers are not really accurate. Like, you know, we might have been selling more if we were in stock the whole time. Or, you know, we might have had this big boost of people that were waiting for the product, but then once the boost is gone, no one's gonna buy it again until, you know, like the sales will go way down. So it's actually been difficult to figure out how much stuff we should be buying, and that's part of the reason why it's been hard to stay in stock, but we're doing the best we can. On Instagram, 2117 SMG, just got my sampler. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it. The samplers are really nice. We're gonna have these back in stock in just a couple days. I think we're expecting another 1,000 of these to arrive on the 31st, so that should keep us for a little while. These are the 8 tea samplers. So they have 8 tea cards. So all the different teas that are in the pack, they all have like their information, their name, steep time, temperature. I got like a welcome card, and then of course the teas themselves laid out. 2 of each, enough for everybody to try what they're doing. This is kind of my solution to the problem of the internet. It's really hard to give people samples. Like money-wise, it would cost me basically to give you 5 grams of the tea costs like half as much as giving you 50. So I'm like, I don't sell 5-gram bags because I might as well just sell you 50-gram bag, and everybody works out better. You get more tea. But some people really just want to try many different types, and so the samplers are really good for that. So very proud of that product. I haven't talked about it much because we can't keep them in stock. The moment we get a new shipment in, they all sell out, and then I'm like, I don't want to make a social media video pushing this sampler and telling people about how great it is when they can't buy it. So that's the way it is. Very, very good questions. We have got lots of questions, by the way. We have a question from Grace Jansern. I've been trying to learn Mandarin for a few years now. Any advice for language learning? Thank you. Yeah, I'd say, first of all, just like have fun with it, like chase the fun, because learning a language is hard. And especially nowadays in the internet age, even if you go travel somewhere, you can use Google Translate. So it's like, you want to learn the language because you really are having fun with something. Find something that you like to do that involves the other language or culture. Like, you know, for me, it's tea. It makes sense to try to learn Chinese so I can speak to the tea farmers and I can learn more about the tea culture. It allows me to access a lot of culture and enjoy because I speak the language. Finding those things that you're doing in the language that make it a part of your actual life instead of this sort of like entirely mental pursuit. I think that's very important. And then if you have a, Chinese New Year is coming up, so find your local Chinese community. They're definitely going to be putting on events in the next couple weeks. Today, I live in California, the city of Monterey Park. They're going to be having some like Chinese New Year event. I might go there for fun. Cheers. So like, yeah, I'd say find a way to make it part of your life and really enjoy it. And then obviously, if you can, find a good language environment, somewhere where people are speaking Chinese around you. Depending on, your life situation, that might be easier or harder, I don't know, but very, very cool. Cheers, keep learning. I mean, learning Chinese completely changed my life, so. Questions. Do you think it will be getting more ruby red tea into the shop? Yeah, we have another shipment already made. While I was in Taiwan, I met up with Wu Zong, who's our ruby red tea guy, the ruby red jade tea guy, and I ordered another 150 bags. So we're gonna have 150 of them show up. I believe it's February 6th is the date I remember seeing on the thing. We're air shipping them. So we will have them back in stock. And that's good because the Taiwan box is all oolong teas. It will not have the red jade in it. So if you got the Taiwan box pre-order and you don't want to like double up, you can get the the red jade tea, and that will not like, you know, be in the box. That's just going to be completely different tea. So cheers. Very, very cool. Questions from that Mexican. Has the sheep box been updated on the website? Reading about the teas is one of my favorite parts. Not yet. The sheep box, which we're calling the goat box, there's a lot of sheep, goat, ram. It's kind of the same animal in Chinese. The goat box is going to be available February 1st. So 4 more days until a big drop. And you guys are going to absolutely love the 3 teas on there. I don't want to do a full blowout reveal here, but I do have the samples around. But there's going to be 3 teas. There's going to be a 3 Treasures Chenpi white tea with mandarin peel. These are really cool. They're full mandarin peels that have been packed around white tea and tied together. And so they're these little like cute bundles that have this really amazing deep orange flavor because the orange peel is 8 years aged. So it's 8 years aged orange peel and 3 years aged white tea. And it's got very nice, like, you know, herbal, aged mandarin peel kind of flavor to it. That's going to be amazing. We're also going to have a Dongfang Meiren, the Eastern Beauty oolong bug bitten oolong. So those are really great. We already have one of them on the site, but this is a different mountain. It tastes a little bit different, and also most importantly, the bug bitten oolong we have on the site right now is very expensive, partially because it's super high quality, but partially because they pack them in these 100-gram bags. You have to buy 100 grams or else you can't try it. And so with the new tea people, they're able to pack it into 50-gram bags, which means that I'm able to get more people to try this oolong, and I think you'll really like it. Very sweet. It has that bug bitten, they call it mi xiang, like the honey scent, but it's not actually scented with honey. It's actually a natural reaction from the tea being nibbled on by these animals called leaf hoppers or tea jassids. They're little tiny bugs, and they take tiny bites out of the leaf, and the leaf's self-defense mechanism creates a chemical that happens to taste really damn good. So that's going to be really fun. And then to round out the 3rd tea for the goat box is we're calling Sister I's Everyday Red Tea. So Sister I, who does our master box teas, very, very awesome tea. You can see all these videos that I did in June when I went to the tea mountain. Sister I, because we bought enough of the tea that she's actually gave us a really good price on a younger but still ancient tree tea. And so we got it down to the price where we can actually give people a 50-gram cake of it in our subscription box. So everybody's going to get some of Sister I's tea, which is great because I really wanted people to try it, but the master box is a little bit expensive. So sometimes I'm sure there are people who really wanted to try Sister I's teas, but because it was a master box, they just didn't have the money. So between the scale that we're at now and also the fact that we've worked with Sister I for a little while, she's been really nice and hooked us up with some really good stuff that we can offer at a very good price and press them into tiny cakes for people. So that'll be fun. Those 3 teas are gonna launch on February 1st. If you're already a subscriber, you're all set. You just make sure your address and your payment info is correct in your Shopify account. We sent emails with instructions on how to do that. If you didn't get the email, check your spam. If you're not a subscriber, wait until February 1st and subscribe, because like the subscription is like, it's the best deal on the website. Everything there is basically gonna be like 40% off of what it would normally be if you bought them separately. And the reason is I personally would rather live my life in a way where, like, if we have the subscribers and I know we're gonna be able to sell it and I don't have as much stress, I can give people a cheaper price because we know what the numbers are going to be. I don't need to like worry about whether I can pay healthcare and rent and stuff like that. Like I know that I can do it. And so I can give people a cheaper price. So my goal is, if we can get the subscription big enough that, like, you know, I can basically spend all my energy just trying to get people who are the subscribers really good tea, and then It'll all be available. All of those will be available individually as well, but you'll get a much better deal on them if you get them all three together in the subscription box. And part of that is because we can give a cheaper price if we're selling three at once. But also because the way that a lot of this works is like every time I ship anything, we get charged for like the for like every item that goes in the box. So it's actually way cheaper for us to send three things at once than 3 boxes, 3 shipping costs. You know, it makes more sense for everybody to do 3 at once every 3rd month. So that's what the subscription is. And if it's gonna be fantastic. Jordan USA asked about the white tea restock. We are restocking the white tea. I have another 75 of the full white tea cakes coming over and another 1,000 bags of the 40 gram. So like we're gonna be in stock. I like that tea a lot, and I'm gonna get as much of it as I can because with the old white tea, when you're done with it, it's out. Eventually, my tea guy is gonna tell me we drank it all, and that's gonna be the end of that tea. So until that happens, I'm gonna keep restocking it. So very, very fun. Questions over here. Asking about the, sorry, Jesse was asking about the Fuju. I only know them as Mala or Juza. Yeah, so these, the prayer beads. Juza. This was a gift that was given to me by a Buddhist nun who owns a tea shop in New Jersey. And so I met her in New Jersey, and she gave me these, this shoutuar, this bracelet as a gift, and I gave her a cake of Lao Banjiang pu'er that I had gotten from Lao Banjiang Mountain just beforehand. They're very beautiful. The gem, not a gem, stone is called Tianzhu. The heavenly jewel would be treasure, I suppose. And apparently the left hand, I believe, wearing it on the left hand is supposed to be protection. And the right hand, I'm trying to remember what the right hand was. I remember listening closer to the left hand because I figured I'd wear it more on my left hand if I actually wore it. But nowadays I like to just keep it here with the tea set, just kind of giving an excellent good energy and protection to the entire tea service and everybody who's sitting there with me. So that's a good one. So very, very cool. Questions. Somebody's talking about a box. I'm missing out on what's going on with the box. Oh, somebody I think asked about the dragon set with the how we pack it. We have these custom foam packers, so it's like it's just a cardboard box on the outside, but inside we have a custom foam layout. So if you keep that foam, it actually will be easy to transit around. If you need to move, if you want to take it to a friend's house, you can do that. But it's not like a carrying case like our travel sets are, which I don't have one on hand. But the travel sets are easier to carry, but the dragon set you'll also be able to carry. Same with our same with the blue-white porcelain set that we have on the site. This is also the same thing. It comes in like a fitted foam case. We actually spend a lot of time and energy designing that stuff because we want to pack it in as tightly as possible. One of the biggest problems I have about Chinese tea stuff is that in China, like if you have a lidded cup like this, like the box might be this big. They make these enormous boxes to show off the tea equipment. And so when you give people a gift, it's this massive box. And it looks beautiful, but it's like you guys don't want to be paying shipping, I'm sure, for this giant box. You know, you want like, you know, we're trying to make the sampler as tight as possible so that your shipping is cheaper. But of course we want to protect the teaware. So the custom foam padding is our solution to that. And it makes it pack pretty efficiently, but also it's safe and it's not gonna break. And like with everything else with our dragon set, once we get them back in stock, you guys can go and order them. But if you want the dragon set is really beautiful. Look at that gold set. And we have extras of these as well. So if anybody drops, if you drop the lidded cup, you know, we'll be able to get you another lidded cup. And same with any of the tea stuff on the website. If you drop just the filter, like we have extra filters. We don't sell them on the website individually. It's just a service to help our tea friends out because You know, I've been that guy. I've like bought a tea set in China and then I break one part and then it's gone. And then it just sucks when you go back to the shop and they're like, yeah, we don't have extras. So cheers. Very, very nice. Yeah, so more questions. Very, very cool. Excessive packaging is wasteful. I know it's kind of weird because in Chinese culture, you really don't want to be wasteful. And for whatever reason, they just completely ignore this when it comes to packing gifts, because it's more important to be like, you know, 高大上, you know, like big, you know, very 有面子, like have a lot of face in giving the package rather than the wastefulness. But, you know, on the scale of things, you know, having a big box is not like owning a private jet or something like that. Like there are levels to this. And thank you, Jordan, for the sunglasses. Appreciate it. Very, very cool. Lots of great questions. Hacker System says, hi, do you ship worldwide? I do. Just put in your address into the checkout window before you pay. It will show you the cost to ship to your area. There's usually a couple choices. If you pick the slowest one, it's usually not that expensive. We're shipping from the United States, not from China. And yeah, and also just be aware to use a credit or debit card because PayPal will not work internationally. Hunter says, I'm waiting on my oolong tea box. I love the travel teapot set, currently using it in my dorm. Excellent choice. The travel set is perfect for the dorm. I made a video about how it'd be perfect for a dorm. It's definitely, I use it all the time. I literally will throw that in my backpack and I just have one in my backpack at all times in case I ever want to have tea. I just have a travel set and a couple of the mini bags, the stuff that's in my sampler, and then just have that ready in case I ever want to have tea outside of the home. Very, very cool. Glad you guys have been enjoying it. Let me get to some more questions. And again, by the way, if I miss your questions, just repost them. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm gonna re-boil some water here. I think I might switch teas and do a roasted oolong next. Here we go. Start boiling that water. Bam, very cool. Look at a couple more questions over here. I recently received some more, I just received some more 2017 White Dew today. Hooray. Yes, we're back in stock in the White Dew. Hope you enjoy it. Those sold really well. They're really good. I just really like that tea. It was, you know, there's kind of I feel kind of a little bit of a conflict sometimes because I know that like gimmicky stuff works on the internet. And I don't want to do gimmicky stuff. Like, it's cool if something looks cool and is really good. But like, the amount of butterfly pea flower videos I see, like that stuff doesn't taste good. Like no tea people are drinking butterfly tea flower, but there's so many videos because it's blue and then it turns purple. It's like, I just don't like it. And so I obviously don't sell anything like that. But then sometimes I get these things like the 2017, the White Dew white tea that I have. I don't know if I have a bag of it nearby. There it is. Yeah, this stuff. The White Dew white tea. It's just tea leaves. There's nothing gimmicky about it. And I felt really bad because I was like, this tastes really good and I can give it at a good price. But there's nothing gimmicky about it. It's just leaves. And eventually I was like, you know what? You keep drinking this yourself. They gave me a bunch of samples and I drank like all of the samples. And I was like, if you drink all of the samples, that means something. You should sell it even if it's just a leaf. And I've been very glad that the reaction has been good because I don't want to feel trapped into like only doing gimmicky, internet-y teas just because they get like hits. And I don't do that. And so I'm glad that it's not like I really would change anyway, but I'm glad that my thoughts have been vindicated. Very, very nice. Questions over here. Got a little bit more, couple more questions. Give you a little better angle. What set do you sell that comes with a chapan? That's from the Pablo HM88. I have a bunch of sets. I mean, this is back in stock. I'll show you. Our basic travel tea kit set. This is like this is the set I brought with me to Taiwan. This is a set that I use. Like I use this a lot. It's a full carrying case set. This comes with the tea table and everything you need in the thing. These are on the website. They come with a free tea pet. It's 95 bucks. It's easy kind of entry into doing Gongfu tea. I chose all this stuff very specifically. The white porcelain goes with anything. If you wind up getting a bigger table later, the white porcelain will go with it. If you like the small table, want to keep the small table, it's really useful. Even if you get a bigger table later, it's always nice to have a little one of these around. And then of course it all packs up. So, you know, I keep an extra one of these in the trunk of my car. So if I ever go like on a picnic or something, I'm just like, oh, I have it. That's a really good set. And then of course I have lots of tea tables that also you can match with the blue white porcelain set, which I'm using now, which I think we also are back in stock in. So I'm fighting to stay in stock of this stuff. It's nice tea stuff, and I'm very glad people have been buying it. It's been a journey. Can I stuff a dragon tea set inside there? No, the dragon set will not fit in the carrying case. Again, it's all custom foam cutout. So the key of keeping everything safe, like part of the reason teaware is expensive is because it's fragile. So you're trying to get this fragile thing literally around the whole world, shipping it multiple times. And so we spend a lot of time and money cutting these custom foam inserts, which, like, you know, before I got into doing tea stuff, I'm just like, oh yeah, put the thing in the foam. Like, they have to do that custom for the set that you're doing. And so we have this set custom made to have the equipment and the stuff that we want when we get them made. And so like that takes extra effort. And the downside is though that you kind of can't do them both ways. We do have like there is like a tea follower though I know who's like a very kind of handy like, you know, project guy, and he made his own case for his tea stuff that's more whatchamacallit, that's more like dynamic, more modular. So that sort of stuff is pretty cool, but like those, I'm sure the amount of work he's put into his case, he spent quite a bit of time and energy on it. It's not like a really cheap solution for most people. So very good. 我们大多数人都会说中文，那我们就多说一点啊。If we have any Chinese speakers on here, obviously feel free to leave your comments in whatever language. 我们就随便讲，这其他人听不懂没关系，我们就聊一会儿，一边说中文一边喝茶，好不好？哎，always up for doing some more Chinese questions over here. Here we go. Excellent. So again, remember how small the little kernels of tea were? Completely opened now. Cup is full of tea. Actually, might even be too much. Like fully opened. You know, it's part of why I really like the Gongfu style of tea making as opposed to like the big pot, teapot type thing. You just get so much more intense flavor when you do it in the Gongfu style because it's more tea and less water. So it really just makes it very punchy and energetic and really gets all the tea energy out into the tea. The downside is you have to use good tea, because if you have bad tea and you're using more bad tea and less water, any quality problem you have in the tea will be shown very quickly. And so you're going to not enjoy your tea time if you know, you can't put like 4 tea bags into a lidded cup and then make them. It's going to be bitter as all hell. It's going to be horrible. 1 tea bag in there is going to be bitter. Cheers over here. Excellent. Yeah, Squidward for President says, I love seeing the leaves open up, getting my tea started now. Welcome. Yeah, by the way, if you got the time, if you can, break out your tea. Let's have tea together. This is the whole point, man. We're just sitting and drinking and chilling and having tea on a Saturday. Hope you guys have some fun weekend stuff planned. I don't have a lot planned this weekend. I mean, I have a lot of work to do, just to try to get our restocks in order and get everything ready for the launch of the new subscription club. 4 days. 4 more days, we're going to launch 3 new teas, and I don't know if I've announced this, but we are going to launch our first ever flower and herbal tea, chrysanthemum goji berry tea, high quality Wuyuan chrysanthemums and Ningxia goji berries, the best of the best. I haven't done any flower or herbal teas recently because I'm thinking about how to do them best. I started doing research on making a flower and herbal line, and I was honestly shocked and appalled at how cheap and low quality the herbal tea providers were. It was a completely different world than the tea leaf people. The tea leaves are something where, like, if you spend 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much, you actually get a better product. The herbal stuff that's being sold all over the world, it's unbelievable how cheap that stuff is at wholesale. Like the low to mid quality herbal stuff, like a lot of it, like legit, I did the math, the box might be worth more than what they're paying for the tea. It's like terrifying. And it goes to show you, because there's no kind of like, you know, it's all just like mass market stuff. So for a long time, I was like, I'm not going to get into this, because like either I buy really cheap stuff that is not really any different from anything else on the market, and then I have to mark it up. But now I feel bad about marking this up, because like it's not really any different from any of the other stuff on the market. And this is not the way I go about doing my tea stuff. Or I have to find a type of tea where there's a real reason and I can get higher quality stuff. And for the chrysanthemums, they actually do have that culture. There's in Wuyuan, in Zhejiang province, they've been growing chrysanthemums there for 1,000 years. It's like the place to get good chrysanthemums. And I think you guys will be happy with the quality that we got, because my take on this herbal tea is very, very kind of simple, pure. We have 2 high quality chrysanthemums and 5 goji berries in each little pack. And you can just steep that right away and have kind of a sweet floral thing. They're good enough quality. You can actually re-steep them 3 to 4 times. Most herbal teas, you can't really re-steep. This one you can re-steep. And then you can either drink them by themselves, or you can mix them with any other tea. If I'm really excited to try out, I'm going to make a bunch of videos trying this out, of taking teas of mine and pairing them with the chrysanthemum goji together. So those are going to be coming out on February 1st as well. We've been planning this for literally more than half a year. Since June, we've been starting to figure this out, getting it packed, finding the suppliers, getting the packaging designed, you know, getting them packed. We had to fight like hell to get people to pack these things in the way that we wanted them, but I know it's going to be worth it once you get them. They're in individual little packets. You buy a box, and the box has 20 individual packets inside, so you can take them on the go. You can keep them around the house. It's going to be really, really good. I'm excited for it. And again, no caffeine, which is the main thing I've heard a lot of people say over and over again. They don't want caffeine. But if you drink tea leaf tea, it's all caffeinated. So if you want something that's non-caffeinated, this is the thing to get. The chrysanthemum goji berry, launching on February 1st. I bought 1,000 boxes of them. I'm thinking that's not going to be enough. It'll be in stock at least for a little while. So like, I don't like freak out, but like, we've already started restocking them, because I'm sure we're going to sell out of them. And it's, I'm very excited about being able to launch that line. And hopefully, if they do well, we're going to come out with more herbal blends that are based off of real, actual herbal blends that Chinese people actually drink. So chrysanthemum goji berry is the classic. If you drink a flower or a fruit or like an herbal tea, like that's the classic, like all throughout China, that's what people actually drink, chrysanthemum goji berry. So it's gonna be really good. Vic said, I really love the herbal blend. It's gonna be fun. Martin M says, do you have a representation of a reasonable place to buy a wider selection of pu'er tea? I'd like to dive a bit deeper into different producers, etc. So, I mean, I have a selection on my site. The reason I don't like willy-nilly recommend other sites is I haven't drunk them. I haven't gone to the mountain. I haven't talked to the people. I just don't know. So this is why I put in all the work, so that everything that comes onto my site I know is going to be good, and then have different price points around there. I have a pretty decent collection on there, although it's not, because I want to know the quality of everything on my site. I don't have like 100 options. It's kind of a little bit of like a problem in terms of, if you go to a site and they have 100 options, either they're all bad because they have no way of doing 100 options, or like they have somebody who's been like having like personal connections for years and years and years and years and can get 100 options. But also I just found that 100 options is very unpractical for most people, because you go in there, there's 40, 50 different types of raw pu'er. Like, you know, you need to be a real expert to be able to tell what you even want from looking down our list. And if you don't speak Chinese, good luck, because all the names are going to sound the same. So I try to solve this problem by not having 80 options, and by making sure that everything on there is going to be good. And then hopefully people will be able to try that out that way. I also personally maybe am a little bit lazy on this because I have so many other like samples of raw pu'er here at my apartment. So if I want to drink them, I have them, which is maybe not like, you know, not helping you guys at home. But the reason that I have those is because eventually they do wind their way up onto the site. So yeah, it's, and then of course, like I do all this content and make all these videos out of the hope people will go to the site and buy stuff and support it. So unfortunately, it really sucks because I would like to be able to share other people's teas when they're really good. But unfortunately, the internet has decided that I don't get paid for my work. I have to do all this work for free. And then hopefully some people support me by going to the site. In a world where I got paid for making the content, which you don't, like, oh, YouTube pays you. They don't. Like, the amount of energy and time, and like, you need to run a legit media company to make money on YouTube. And like, it's a real job to make the amount of content that people do and make it well. Like, the YouTube pay per million or whatever is almost nothing. It's like saying Spotify pays the artists for like musicians. YouTube's a little better than that, but it's like, it just doesn't work. So in an ideal world where I got paid for the actual work I did, I'd be a lot more open about sharing other brands. But right now, unfortunately, the world has decided that creators don't get paid. And so until that changes, I really can't use my time and energy of drawing everybody together, doing all the education about tea, and then telling you to buy somebody else's tea. That being said, you should experiment, like, you know, go out, try some stuff. I just can't be the person to direct you. But my direction as a tea teacher and not as a guy that runs a tea shop is you should try other stuff. You should try and see what you like. And the more that you drink, one, the more I'm confident you'll like my stuff. And two, it's just like the tea is a journey. Like, you don't, even if you have a good leader of your journey, you don't want to follow just one leader on your journey forever. You know, I feel like I can be of help in being a part of people's tea journey. And if I can be a part of your tea journey, I'm already very happy with that. So definitely give some more raw pu'er a try. I would love to live in a world where more people drink raw pu'er because there's so much raw pu'er that I really love. And I only put some on the site because I just don't think that there's, like, not enough people know about raw pu'er and care about raw pu'er to have 10, 20, 30 on the site. But I would, if I could, like, I'd drink it for sure. Thank you, Nickel Bacon. Appreciate it. Got the heart. Very, very fun. Chrysanthemum is a tea for dim sum, says Slow Tack. That's very true. Neko Bacon says, what do you think about Longjing tea? I like Longjing. We have a Longjing on the site. Longjing is just it's classic. It's like the classic. When you think of green tea, you think of Longjing. Everything else in my mind is like, how is it different from Longjing? Longjing, by the way, is also called Dragonwell, if you've heard that name. Look at how nice that tea. By the way, this is like, this High Mountain Oolong, this has got to be like the 8th steep, and it's still going very strong. I think I'm going to swap out a roasted oolong next. Very, very nice. Yeah, I like Longjing. Hangzhou, the city of Hangzhou is beautiful. Also, fun fact, a lot of the comedy scene of Shanghai has kind of moved to Hangzhou because it's cheaper to live there, and there's enough people there that you can still do lots of comedy shows. So a lot of the comedians that I knew when we were living in Shanghai and writing on TV shows together in Shanghai, a lot of them live in Hangzhou now, and they take the 1-hour bullet train from Hangzhou to Shanghai whenever they need to go into Shanghai. But otherwise, they just live in Hangzhou because you can get like an apartment for half the price you're paying in Shanghai. And it's a beautiful city. The West Lake area is beautiful. The West Lake of Hangzhou is like one of the, I think it's like a UNESCO heritage. It's gotta be. It's so beautiful. And you walk around there and it's just like ringed with all these tea shops. Yeah, it's a great place, great place. That was the place I did my last show before the world fell apart. In December of 2019, I did 3 shows in Hangzhou. And unfortunately, in that time of year, there's no tea. But I mean, they have the tea from the year before, but it's not like spring tea season. So keep your eyes open though, because not 100% sure where or how or what, but my rough plan right now is to fly to China in April and attend the picking of our green teas. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be at the Longjing picking, or maybe the Moganshan picking, or maybe a different type of tea picking, Anzi, white tea, maybe. But I'm planning on going to China for the spring tea picking and sharing that with you all. So let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see when I go to China for the spring green teas. Very good. Vibe Tribe Mama said you should do posts about the geography, different place of history, a place you go. I should. I really I've almost thought about whether it'd be worth like hiring, because I live in LA and Hollywood is here and a lot of television people are here. I almost wonder if I could hire somebody who's like actually done a travel show and be like, I'm gonna host a travel show. You help, like, what do I need to know in order to host an actual travel show? And then film a pilot and try to get it on like Netflix or something like that. I would love to have my own travel show where I go to different places in China and Taiwan and different tea regions. And especially if I'm in a Mandarin speaking place, I can speak, I can host a show in Mandarin and we can subtitle it. And then I can also do my comedy, which would be really fun. I think it'd be really fun to go to Hangzhou, go to like the tea hills, and then that night go to the comedy club. And like, it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know whether this make a good show or it's just like what I think would be fun, but like on the other hand, maybe that's a good way to do the show, right? If I think I'd have fun, that it'd be a lot of fun. Victor Lopez says, does this tea have caffeine? All tea leaf tea has caffeine. So if it's the actual tea leaf, it's not peppermint, it's not chamomile, it's not chrysanthemum, it will have caffeine. How much caffeine depends on the type of tea and how it was made. It also, like, everybody's body absorbs caffeine differently. So sometimes people are like, how much caffeine does it have? And they want a milligram answer as if that's really going to tell them exactly what it is. Also, the tea from caffeine is absorbed in your body differently than the tea from coffee. So the caffeine from tea, you kind of go up slower and then come down lower, whereas the caffeine from coffee, you kind of have a boost and a crash. So tea is a better drink if your goal is to have sustained focus instead of like get up and go energy. Questions. Alex Damsel says, any plans to get a Yunnan green tea on the shop this spring? I mean, to be honest, like a young raw pu'er is basically a green tea until it starts to age. It's very like a green tea, but it's not quite exactly the same. I don't know any, actually, no, I do have one guy who's a green tea guy in Yunnan. I'm planning on going to Yunnan in April and May, so never say never. It's not in the plan right now, but never say never. Great questions over here, by the way. I apologize, I've been missing a lot of stuff. We have, somebody just said pork jerky, but I'm not sure why they said that. I want to make sure it's traditional. Can this, with the sesame pork jerky, I forgot what it's called, be served with tea? That's from, damn, your name just slid up the moment I saw the question. Generally, people don't eat heavy or like sweet foods with the tea because it's going to blow out the sweetness, but something savory might be a thing. Jerky is a little bit unusual, but I don't think it would be bad. I think that kind of fits in with the thing. Usually something a little bit crispy, crunchy, savory. And I'll show you what I got in Taiwan. I got 2 bags of candy. I'm considering figuring out how to import these and put them on the shop. Food importing has different rules than tea. But the first one is the one I made a video on these. These are the tea nougat. So this is, it's like a very, like, not very sweet nougat, but made with the tea. The cool thing about this is they make it with the tea from the tea mountain that we were there. So we went to Pinglin. There's gonna be a video blog of me going to Pinglin. I actually have 2 video blogs coming out about going to Pinglin. And you'll see the tea trees, and they use that. It's like a local candy company in that tiny town that makes these tea nougats. And it's got nuts in there. And then the other one is this, which is a hard candy. It just says tea candy, but it's kind of like a hard candy, like a mint, but it's not minty. It's just very tea. It almost is like matcha. It's like you suck on it and it's like you're drinking matcha. It's really great. I actually really like both of them, and I brought back a bag of each just so I can have it and sample it. And I'm gonna try to get these, see if I can get these imported. They're going to be a little bit more expensive by the time they get here than if you bought them in Taiwan, but that's just the way it is. Just because we have to airship it. So But yeah, so I think that those would be cool. If you guys think those would be cool, let me know. See what we have the thing. Yeah, I buy the tea snacks. That'd be great. That's good to hear. Very, very cool. I have people I got some brains blowing up emojis. Very, very cool. Andrew Kelly, how do you tell the quality of the teas? That's a really good question. So there's a couple things I look for in the tea. I mean, this is like a hard question to answer. There's so much that goes into it. So obviously, you want to have a good natural environment. So if you show up at the tea farm and there's like trash and there's like, you know, like the water is polluted and all that sort of stuff, that's not good. So generally, finding tea farms, luckily, all the beautiful nature is in beautiful nature. So when I go visit the farms or when I go talk to the tea people, I can see the natural environment that it's growing up in, and that's useful. I also personally, I look for teas that have different personalities, when you steep them differently. So part of the thing about tea is that with bad tea, you know, you oversteep it a little, it gets bitter. You understeep it, it has no flavor. With really good tea, you can kind of steep it in many different ways and many temperatures, many steep times. It's going to taste a little different each time, but I try to have teas like that because I'm expecting people on the internet who buy my tea, they're like, not all of them are going to have this like a tea set and have all this like sophisticated equipment and a temperature controlled gooseneck kettle. And so I like the fact that, like, you know, if I can find teas that react well through many different steeping styles, I think that that's something that I look for personally as somebody who's putting the tea on the website. Which is, by the way, jesseteahouse.com. I'm Jesse. If you want really great tea, go to my site. I have a lot of tea farmer friends in China and Taiwan. I just made a trip to Taiwan. I was there for 12 days. I just got back a couple days ago. And we've sourced a new Taiwan oolong sampler, which you can pre-order. If you're interested, I would get the pre-order sooner rather than later because it's probably not going to be available forever. We've already pre-ordered basically half of our entire shipment. So we will have more, but like it's going to be a couple months until it arrives. So if we pre-ordered half of it in essentially 20 days, you know, I don't think we're going to, I don't think it will sell out in 20 more days, but like we're going to eventually stop the pre-order so we have some in person that we can sell to people. And I would make more, except the fact that we're actually buying kind of so much tea now from some of these people that, like, normally if you were to buy this much tea, you would have to talk to the tea farmers ahead of time. You would need they can make it. It's not like we're selling global demand that level, but it's getting to the point where, like, without planning this, it's hard to do. So we have 4 teas in the sampler, and one of them in particular, we basically bought up everything else that they have until the next harvest, which will be in May, late March, April. So, you know, so if you want one of those oolong boxes, I would recommend going to the site and getting the pre-order. It's the Jesse in Taiwan oolong box. It's going to be really good. We have 4 different types of teas that are going to be in that box. We have a Alishan milk oolong. So a high mountain Alishan milk oolong. That's going to be really good. We have a roasted Dongding oolong. We have a red oolong, which is a very interesting tea. I'd never had it before. It's a type of tea that is started, they pick the leaves and they start making the tea. They start oxidizing them like it's going to be a red tea. In the West, they call black tea. So it's basically like as if it was going to be a black tea, but then they stop it and finish it like an oolong. So it has a like some oolong flavor to it, but also some red tea flavor, and it comes out super sweet. It's really good. And then the last one is the thing I'm very excited to be able to share with people, because this is something that even in Taiwan is hard to find. It's an ultra heavy roast oolong. So it's charcoal roasted, heavy roast. It smells like cigars, it smells like leather, it smells like coffee. It's like very interesting flavor. And because it's done by hand, small batch, by like, you know, really a master roaster, there's only a couple people left that do this. It is not bitter. It's like the roast is really, really cool to drink. It's, I had a ton of fun drinking that. And so we're going to be giving people 10 grams of that in each sampler. It's very expensive. It's rare. They can only make it in very small batches. It takes a month from start to finish to make 6 kilograms of this stuff. So we're going to be giving people 10 grams in the sampler, and then we're going to have 50-gram bags available. They'll probably be pretty pricey, but my goal is that you shouldn't have to start by buying an expensive 50-gram bag. We're going to give people 10 grams in the sampler, and then for the other teas, like for the newer teas that are less pricey, we're going to give you 50 grams in the sampler. So there's going to be a 50-gram, 2 25 grams, and a 10-gram. That's the plan right now. Don't sign me to a contract, but that's the plan right now. We're working through doing that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then all 4 of those are going to be in the oolong box. So this is why it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'm 100% sure you guys will be satisfied with it. And everybody who pre-ordered is going to be very happy because we're putting a lot of energy into making the new box. A surprising amount of energy. In fact, we're probably going to need to hire an extra person just to pull this off, but it's going to be great. Cheers. SBML, if TJ Spitter, should you lower the temperature of the steeping, the length of the steep, mainly for white and green teas? Yeah, that's what I would do. For white tea, it really shouldn't be bitter. Like green tea has a little bit of that vegetal, grassy, kind of tanniny flavor in it. White tea really shouldn't be bitter. If you're getting bitter white tea, I don't know where you're getting it from. But yeah, but those are things you can do to try to keep the bitter out. So I appreciate it. Questions over here. I want a 50-gram bag already for special occasions. Exact. I mean, it definitely is a special occasion tea. I mean, to be fair, if money is not a huge deal and you can drink it every day, it is a very nice replacement for something like coffee. The heavy roast oolong that I'm talking about. In fact, where is it? Over here. Not that one. It's one of these bags. Are they labeled? Yeah. This is it. This is a sample that I took back. You can't see it right now, but the oolong is packed in here. This is the heavy roast. Not going to open it just yet because we'll probably be making a video when the box comes out where I'll show people. Also, very excited is that there are completely unexpected, but a good unexpected thing is that the what do you call it? The grand niece of the guy that is the roasting master is like a 25-year-old girl from Taiwan, and she speaks fantastic English. So we were able to get her on the podcast, and she's very knowledgeable about tea. And she's like the person who's helping to try to share this tea outside of Taiwan. And the teas from her mountain that we're going to be giving you are the same teas that go into Michelin restaurants in Europe. She sells to a couple Michelin star restaurants, one in Sweden and one in Ireland. So it's like literally Michelin restaurant quality oolong that's going to be in the sampler. It's like really good stuff. I guarantee you I'm marking on up less than the Michelin restaurant. Who knows how much they mark that up? God. So I'm going to make some money from it, but it's like mostly I just want people to be able to have the really good tea. I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in the idea that if I can get it to people for a reasonable price, that they're actually going to be able to drink regularly, and it's not like I can never make it. It's too expensive. Like if it's that expensive and you can't actually make it, you're not going to get into tea. I have a lot of confidence that if I can get it over at a price that's like good and reasonable, that like more people will be drinking tea and like everything will work out. So it's going to be really good. Questions for the, can I still get one, Sam? Yeah, you can still get a pre-order for the oolong box. It's just a pre-order. Be aware if you order anything else with the pre-order, the whole shipment will wait until the pre-order comes to ship. So if you want to get something on the site and the pre-order, do it in 2 orders. That way I can ship the stuff that's in stock now immediately instead of waiting for the whole thing. 50-gram bag, I don't know the exact cost yet. Do the math really roughly in my head. It might be like 40 or 45 bucks. Don't quote me on it. I need to figure it out. For a 50-gram bag, it's going to be a lot, but it's very powerful stuff, and 50 grams will make you 10 sessions. So it's like $5 a session. That's about as pricey as it would get, I think. I need to do the numbers. I need to also make sure that they don't raise the price the next time we restock. But it's definitely so. Jacob says, you look like you deal more than tea now. What is it? The shirt? What makes it? I mean, like, I don't know. Is it the shirt? You gotta figure this out. Questions. tips on reducing astringency for green tea. I made a video on this just the other day. I think it was yesterday. Lower the temperature. Make sure that you're not using too many tea leaves. That's a classic problem. And then of course, make sure that your steep temperature and steep time are under control. If it's too bitter, lower it. You can lower both. And then most importantly is you need to get good tea leaves. So if you're working with bad tea leaves, the Goldilocks zone to make it well is going to be very small. If you have good tea leaves, they're going to taste good in many different ways. It's going to be good. Is the tea sampler box back in stock, Breed and Walton? It came back in stock. It sold out again. We have another shipment coming on the 31st of January, which is 4 more days. So it'll be back in stock this time next week. And hopefully we have 3 more shipments of it that are already on boats coming. So hopefully by the time the second shipment arrives, we'll still have the first shipment left, and we'll actually be able to get like a real stock of it, which will be good. Here we go. So questions over here, other things. I know Silver Needle white teas are expensive. They are. That is why I don't sell them. Question is, do they forever out of the 2010? I think I just bought the last tea cake. Super glad I did, but now I need to know how fast I can drink it. No, we're getting more. We have another couple 100 bags of the Duedoy's 2010 Reserve already arrived on Thursday. They weren't unpacked Friday. My shipping team doesn't work Saturday. So hopefully by Sunday or Monday, they'll be back up on the site. In terms of whole cakes, I'm not sure, but definitely the small bags we're gonna have more of. And then even the whole cakes, we plan on restocking more of them. I keep buying, I buy less of the full cakes because I think that like not many people like the full cakes, but actually they're the best deal, that's for sure. Like the price per ounce goes way down if I can sell the whole cake because I don't have to buy packaging. Like, I can just ship the cake the way I get it to you. So the full cake is a good deal. Questions from Vibe Trial Mom. I broke the clear pitcher in my son's tea tray set I bought for Christmas. Is there a way to replace just that piece? Yes, we have extras for you. Email teafriendsupport@jessie'steahouse.com. That's teafriendsupport@jessie'steahouse.com. We have extras of all of the pieces of equipment that are in the set, and I think it's $15. That includes shipping. It's not like for sale. We don't make any money on that. It's just a service for people so that if somebody breaks a piece, they don't have to replace the whole set. teafriendsupport@jessie'steahouse.com will help you out. This is, again, one of the reasons sometimes, like, can you go on Amazon and get it a little cheaper? Sometimes. Are the Amazon people going to replace a single piece to help you out? No. No way. Also, we have those extra pieces in America ready to ship out. So it's not like it's going to take 6 weeks to ship from China. It's like it's all ready. teafriendsupport@jessie'steahouse.com. Yeah, feel bad you broke it. Stuff breaks. I mean, this is the thing about the things. They break. Actually, speaking of break, check this out. This. Oh my gosh. I gotta drag this into frame. This box is full of damaged, can you even see it? So this, I get a box of these every now and then. This is all stuff where like the boxes were damaged in transit. And so I can't sell these. But for instance, like this is one of the glass cups. You can hear it. At least one of them broke, but most of them are not broken. Similarly with a lot of this stuff, it's like something got damaged. Yeah, like here, like this green tea thing here. This got squashed, and like there's a little opening here. So, but the thing is in a foil bag, like it's still gonna be perfectly fine, but like I don't wanna sell that to you guys. You pay good money for the tea. You get this thing here and it's open and you're worried about it. I want you worrying about the tea. So this unfortunately is a loss for me. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna, maybe next weekend, I'm just gonna like go to a park in LA, and if anyone wants to come and have tea, we'll make some of the tea. It's still good. And then I'll just give away all the extra stuff to everybody because I can't sell this. I have like tea tables here that are like perfectly fine. The tea table is not damaged at all, but like, but the box was damaged, and it's just damaged enough that like I can't sell it. So If you live in the LA area, keep your eye out for a video about how to come to that, because I think it'll be next weekend. I think I'm going to go to Elysian Park and just prop myself up there and you know, have a tea time with everybody, give away some tea stuff. It's you know, hopefully give it a little stuff for that. So that'll be probably go to Elysian Park. It's near my house. I don't have any idea. Yeah, anyone in LA, yeah, check out if you're not signed up for the email list, sign up for the email list. Go to jessieteahouse.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen. We have a email list, sign up. We'll send out an email. We'll send out messages on the social. I think I just want to kind of get out of the house more. Speaking of which, it's beautiful out today, and I think I do want to get out of the house. And so I'm gonna do maybe 1 or 2 more questions. I'm gonna have 1 more steep of the tea, and then I wanna get out a little bit. Questions, do you sell Taiwanese teapots, or where do you recommend getting one from? I don't. I have this beautiful pot that I was just given though, right here. This is the pot that I was given by Wuzong, one of the people that we get Taiwanese tea from. He gave me this beautiful pot while I was there. Tony red clay. Very, very nice. I don't have a trusted vendor for you, unfortunately, but this is on my list of things to get onto my site. Beautiful. Elysian's a good park, right? It's not that far from me. In fact, I think maybe I'll scoot there today. I have like one of those little, not a bird scooter, but one of those things, and it's just like, it's a good scoot to get to that park, take a walk. I just like being out in the air. The air in LA is so nice. You know, I'm gonna keep this out of the box on my table. I don't like cluttering up my table. And yet every week the table gets cluttered up. I'm just not a naturally clean person. I'm sorry. But like, I try to keep my tea area under control with only tea stuff, and yet it somehow seems to always accumulate some sort of junk. I have some pens here. What are these doing here? You know, so I gotta keep that up. And then I'm gonna have 1 more thing of tea. I'm gonna light some incense, and then we'll call it a day. I'm working on developing an incense line as well. I got some really great incense samples from Taiwan. The best incense comes from Indonesia and Vietnam, and it's a really beautiful addition to the tea ceremony here. Got my incense burner. There we go. Beautiful. Some good tea vibes. Thanks again to everybody for chilling with me on a Saturday. Hope everybody's weekend is going well. Bro got that 70s drip. It's the fro also, right? We're back in the 70s. Very, very cool. Have a good day, Jesse. You know, gloomy rain here in Illinois. Sorry to hear it. You know, this is every time I'm like, God damn, the rent is expensive. I look outside and I'm like, well, it's not raining, which is good. Although they have other problems in LA, traffic, homelessness. It's like, I don't know if that's a natural problem, but a lot of challenges here in LA as well. We're gonna do one more steep of this, and then we'll call it a day after that. Thank you, Ellen Bloomfeld, for the rose on TikTok. By the way, if anybody is just joining, I'm Jesse, Ever Tea Guy. I lived in China 9 years. I know a lot of tea farmers and small tea shops. I get their stuff, I put it up on my website, and I make tea videos explaining tea culture. Hope to try to make tea easier to understand and get into. You know, because I speak Chinese fluently, and I'm able to talk to the people in Chinese and find out what we need to know and negotiate good deals and everything like that. But regular people probably couldn't do that. So very helpful to be able to help share stuff with you guys, you know. Yeah, Jen's Hungry says more of a capitalism problem. That is true. Thank you for all the amazing tea, Jesse. Much love. Appreciate it. Thank you. The Mountain Buoshan Lu, I can't quite read it. I'm sorry, a little bit away. Can somebody ID that kettle? This is the Brewista kettle. This is the iridescent unicorn color. I have these up on my website as well if you want. It's under the Brewista, I think it's called the artisanal gooseneck kettle. And this is a temperature control kettle. So on the control board here, which I can't show you because it's plugged into the wall, But it lets you pick by degree in either Celsius or Fahrenheit exactly how much you want the water. It has a rapid boil, it has a timer, it has a temperature maintain function. So if you want to put the water at 85 Celsius and keep it there, it's a great kettle. I recommend it for you guys as well if you want a really nice kettle. Just be aware that one, I can only ship them within the US, so if you're an international customer, unfortunately I can't sell them to you. Something having to do with some contract they signed with a European distributor or whatever. And then the other thing is, it is expensive. I think it's $159 or $169 or something like that. They're not cheap, but once you have a really nice temperature control kettle, you find you use it a lot. It's a very versatile thing to have around the house. And it's also, it really does increase the value of it really adds to the tea experience. That being said, if money is tight, you don't need a fancy kettle to drink tea. If your money is tight, I think that money is much better spent on buying tea and buying tea equipment, and buying your own time back to be able to drink the tea. So questions, can you make a off oh damn it, I missed the thing, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I missed a question there. Let's have another question over here. Can tea be sweet by Chicken Bulb? Yeah, good tea is sweet. It's not like white sugar sweet, but like considering that there's no sugar, nothing bad in it at all, no sugar, no corn syrup, it's just the leaf, it's really sweet. And so if you're drinking overly bitter tea, it's probably likely that you just don't have really good quality tea, and that's not really anyone's fault. It's hard to get outside of China and Japan and like the East Asian markets because one, it comes from there, and two, like the local people really like it, and so a lot of the good tea gets drunk up by the local Chinese, Taiwanese, Malaysian, Japanese, markets, Korean. And so not a lot of it makes it to the West, and people know that people in the West don't know anything about tea, so they sell them crappy tea, and they charge them a lot of money, so. No bueno. Questions over here. I just got here. Are you talking about a Stag kettle? No, I'm talking about the Brewista. This is the one I have on my site. There are other brands of good kettles, but I like the Brewistas. I was using it before they approached me to feature it on the website anyway. And the temperature control function on them is really good. The workmanship is good. I use these kettles. I literally use it every day, multiple times a day. Never had a problem with the quality. It's never not worked. They're also they're well made too. I have an extra one I keep in my car. And I just it's bumping around in the back there, and every time I take it out, it works. So that's the way to do it. Questions. Question for user, why do you literally have no tea for sale? We have some that's still for sale, but we're out of stock of a lot of stuff. We're in the process of restocking. We've had a boom here on YouTube especially. We went from 6,000 followers in October to 140,000 now. And so all those new people bought up all the tea. But on February 1st, we're launching 4 more teas. We'll be in stock up for quite a while. We have a good amount hoarded. So the 3 new teas that are going to be in the tea subscription that launches once every quarter, and then also a a chrysanthemum, goji berry, herbal, and flower tea, which is our first time having a non-caffeinated tea on the site. So I think you guys will enjoy that. Questions. I have a cheaper kettle for $50 that has some teas temp presets on it. That's also kind of a useful option. I find there's kind of like a middle. There's the dumb kettle, which is not a bad choice. The middle options, which have a couple temperature presets on them. I would also just be aware though that the people who are making the kettle are not tea experts. So they might say this is the green tea or white tea temperature. Try that, but then don't be like a slave to the button on the kettle. If you're not getting the flavor you want out of the tea preset, don't bash your head against the wall drinking adjust the temperature based off of your taste. Very, very good. Question over here. Is there if I broke my Gaiwan top, Iron Nation Boy says, if I broke my Gaiwan top, is there a shop that sells lids? If it's one of mine, we have extras. If it's not one of mine, I have no idea. You would have to ask the person you bought it from. Another reason why I really recommend, don't buy tea stuff on Amazon. Like, you're not going to have any sort of customer service, and even if they wanted to, it'll take them 6 weeks to ship it to you. So it's a thing. Hey there, Jesse, are you planning a tea sampling in LA still? Yeah, I'm just saying, maybe next weekend. I was gonna do it this Sunday, but I didn't get my shit together. Maybe next Sunday, Elysian Park. If I do it, it'll probably be in Elysian Park. I'm just gonna like bring my jet boil some water outside. If anyone wants to show up, you can get some free tea stuff. You know, we might do a thing on outside, so that'll be fun. Questions over here. Any word about the new stone trays will be in stock? We have some that already arrived. If they're not on the shop now, I think they might already be onboarded. Go check out the website. But we definitely got some that arrived this week. So they'll be up on the shop very soon. If they're not up today, then they'll probably be up on Sunday or Monday. And we have something like 100 or 200 boxes of tea stuff coming. So like we're fighting really hard to restock. We are restocking. It's been a challenge to stay in stock. So, which is good. I mean, it means that people have been liking the tea. Questions from Jimmy Do. Any plans to open a physical store that can double as a comedy club? I would love to. Back in the old days, so people don't know, I ran a comedy club in Beijing for 5 years. I rented an old courtyard in the old city of Beijing. I turned it into a comedy club, but it was also kind of my private tea house. Half the time I was there drinking tea with people. We didn't sell tea at that time. Like, I wasn't a tea guy at that time with a website selling tea, but it was just my hobby, and I would just have people over to my courtyard for tea. It was beautiful. What a time. Appreciate the good stuff when you've got it, right? You know, I take it for granted now. Like I used to have a courtyard in Beijing where I could have, you know, I did comedy shows every night and drink tea every day. It was really nice. And I was stressed about it. And at the time, I shouldn't have been so stressed. I should have been more, you know, appreciate the good things when you have them, because they don't last forever. And then COVID killed everything. But I'd love to do that in America. The rent here is expensive, man. The rent is pretty crazy. And I feel kind of bad because like my heart is in live events and doing stuff, but my brain is like, look, the risk of the rent and the people in America, you have to, you know, the health insurance is expensive, everything's expensive, fire insurance, flood insurance, like the cost of doing business in America is very high. And so it's, I feel kind of bad because I would love to, but the numbers are hard. And it's just very capital intensive. And it's like, you know, I'm not Joe Rogan. I can't drop, you know, all like pure cash on starting up a comedy club just because I want to. Although I'm sure that his club makes money now, but you know, it's a lot of capital to put down. Cheers, everybody. We'll have one last sip. I think I'm good. Very, very cool. What about a pop-up comedy show in Tea House? Again, it's the same sort of thing. It's like, I'd love to. It's just a lot of energy and time to plan that stuff. And then, you know, when I've done pop-ups in the past, I find that people don't actually buy tea. They love the experience, but they don't buy anything. So, like, I mean, I need to figure out a way around this so that it actually makes sense. But the, but I want to. I really want to. I need to figure out a way to do it. I mean, maybe I just need to lose money on it. I don't know. But it's like anything where the plan working well still makes you lose money. It's like, it's not long for this world, unfortunately. But if anybody is a wealthy donor that wants to start their own tea house / comedy club, I would manage that place if you put up the money for it. So if anybody has, you know, whatever, an extra $1 million lying around and just wants to drink tea, I'm more than happy to help you figure that out. Last couple questions. Bro, when are you going to China? Do you think xenophobia is making people not buy tea? Great questions, actually. I'm next going to China in April and May for the spring tea season. I think there's definitely, I mean, I'll put it this way. I definitely see people comment on the internet that they're not going to buy tea because they're xenophobic. They don't say they're xenophobic, but they say, they kind of hide the xenophobia behind dislike for the Communist Party, as if a government was a place. Like, that's like if Chinese people said they don't like the Democratic or Republican Party, so I don't like America. Like, the Democratic and Republican Party are not America. The Communist Party is not China. Like, the people who are picking the tea are not like, you know, communist like cadres, like, you know, deeply tied up in Xi Jinping thought. Like, they're tea people. They would be tea people no matter who governed them. The trees have been there 1,000 years. Like, they're going about their business trying to make really good tea. If you can't drink tea because you dislike the Communist Party, that's really unfortunate, because you're missing out on a lot of joy and you're doing nothing to do anything of benefit for anyone in China or in America. There's this like very lazy type of internet activism that people can basically just hide their xenophobia behind dislike of the party. And regardless of what you think of the party, and there's a lot of issues I have with the party, it's not China. It's just straight up not China. And it's definitely not Chinese culture, and it's not tea culture. Chinese culture is found all over the world. I live in California. It's 20% Asian American out here. A lot of those people are Chinese. There's a lot of Chinese culture in California that's legit Chinese culture. It has nothing to do with the Communist Party, and it has nothing to do with the country of China. And yet people take it out on them that they don't like the Communist Party. So say what it is. That being said, I think that there's also interest in really good tea. So if you want really good tea, a lot of it comes from China. And if you only drink tea that doesn't come from China, you know, you're not going to be drinking as good tea. There is good tea in other places, but there's a lot of teas you have to find only in China. So it's like, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, we'll see. Have you ever thought about moving back to China, maybe even Taiwan? I was just in Taiwan for 2 weeks. I love living in Taiwan. Taiwan day to day is a fantastic place to be. The quality of life in Taiwan for the money is the highest of anywhere I've ever been in the world. Like, you get to, like, everything runs really well there. And, you know, like a white collar salary there, I was asking my friends around, might be kind of around $2,500 to $3,000 US a month. You're earning pretty well. So for $35,000 a year of income, you live really well. And that's definitely not true in California. You know, also just little things like the healthcare, free healthcare, free quality healthcare, public transit, cheap, efficient, easy public transit, high-speed rail. Just like a lot of little things make it so you don't need to have a lot of cash. You don't need to be like buying a car because there's no transit. You don't need to be buying private healthcare because there's no public options or affordable public options. So it's a very good place to live. China's similar in many ways. The cost of living is a little bit higher in the mega cities in China, but in other places it's not. But in both places you'd have a hard time getting the most out of it if you speak no Chinese. You really should speak Mandarin if you're going to live in a place like that. I don't know whether I'm going to be planning on moving back or not. I think that the tea company has really changed my life in many ways. Like, you know, this used to be a hobby of mine. Now, like, totally legit, if I wanted to, I could live over there and do tea, and you get out of a lot of the problems of China and Taiwan for different reasons. Is the economies are not great. Taiwan, just because it's a small island, and they've kind of hit a ceiling in how they develop. And a lot of the money that came into Taiwan over the last 20 years actually came from doing business with the mainland. But now the relationship with the mainland has soured. And then in the mainland, the challenge is just that, like, politically it's gotten worse. It's harder. It's not impossible, but it's gotten harder to live there. And so the result is that if you're not a citizen, it's just like a lot of stuff that you just have to do a lot of like stuff in order to figure out. The visa's not easy. You know, there's a lot of stuff you just have to deal with. Once you've dealt with it, it's a really great place to live. I really enjoy living in China. I would totally live there again. I mean, Beijing, Shanghai, all these great places. Even Hangzhou, we talked about. Dali is beautiful. Chengdu is amazing. You know, Kunming in Yunnan is a great city. There's a lot of really beautiful places to live in China that are not crazy expensive and that have amazing tea. But I also feel like, you know, I lived in China for 9 years, and there's a lot of people who live abroad for 9 years that try to make it back to their own country and they can't readjust. Like, I had to fight through a lot of stuff to be able to come back here, and just little things like I came back, I didn't have a credit score. You know, so, you know, I made, my income was made abroad, so I can't get a mortgage. They don't care if you made income abroad. They want to see income on the American tax filings. They don't care otherwise. Doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter how much cash you have. Like you just don't fit into the systems of your own country when you leave it for so long. And so the last 4 years of being first stuck here during COVID and now choosing to stay, I have managed to re-engage with my own country in a way that a lot of people who live in Asia for many years never get a chance to do. And I don't want to throw that away unless I know exactly why I'm moving back. And then also, like, my parents are getting older. As much as, you know, I live in LA, my family's all in Boston. It's not close, but it's a lot closer than Asia. At any time, I could buy a ticket last minute, fly from LA to Boston, be there the same day. And in Asia, it's a lot harder to get back and forth. The flights are longer. There are not as many flights, especially post-COVID. It's more expensive. You know, nowadays, if my family really needs something, I can get on the plane and I'll be there, even if it's a red eye. So like, all of these things have to come into consideration. And then especially now as a tea guy, like I find that I'm, you know, I've worked to kind of build this environment around myself that I really enjoy, and I have all my tea things, and I'm able to host with you guys, even little things, like I have 3 phones here running 3 tripods. Am I gonna take 3 tripods on the road with me every time I go somewhere so that I can do stuff like this? Like, I'd rather have a place in Taiwan or a place in Beijing where I can keep the 3 tripods. It sounds ridiculous, but like, but I don't wanna pay rent 12 months a year just so I can have a place to keep my stuff so I can work. And I hate being in hotels. I don't know why. Maybe it's like 10 years of being a traveling comedian. I just stayed in a lot of hotels. I don't like staying in hotels. I don't like staying in hotels, and I don't even like it when other people are paying for it. To pay my own money to stay in hotels, I just really don't like it. So I've been trying to think through ways of figuring this out. I actually thought I might make an Airbnb, like a tea-themed Airbnb in Taiwan. Let me know what you think of this idea. Like to have a tea-themed Airbnb in Taiwan, and when you rent the Airbnb, it would also come with different experiences. Like I have somebody take you to the tea mountain, or I have somebody take you to the night markets, or I have somebody take you to the temples. And then, like, you know, you basically would book the booking and the experiences together. And I think that it would be better for everybody because you can kind of have the whole vacation, the tea-themed vacation, taken care of with people that are in my network, and I can tell you which tea shops to go to, and you don't have to waste a lot of time going around. I think that would be a lot of fun to see what people think about that. The people saying, yes, that would be amazing, excellent, that sounds really cool. Fire Nation Boy said that's really cool. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that and then, just like selfishly, if I want to go to Taiwan, I could just not rent out the room during that time. Yeah, that sounds amazing. That would be super cool. That would be nice. That is very cool. How much would it be? That's the real question. Rent is expensive in Taipei comparative to other things. So it's kind of not a great business idea to have something where you're paying rent 365 days a year and it's not always going to be full, but I need to figure it out. My hope is that Airbnb has or had experiences you can request to. That sounds great though. Yes, gotta bounce, but thank you so much. Yeah, plan a tea trip for whoever wants to go. You could lead a tea tour and see what the interest is. This is the challenge, is that I've looked into leading the tea tour, and it's just everything. My life is so busy that it's like to take a week or 2 weeks to lead people around. It would either have to be really expensive, which is like not fun, or like, you know, I basically would just, you know, have to spend a ton of time and energy on it and not make any money. And so I'm kind of thinking that the tea-themed Airbnb might be a better solution because I don't actually physically have to be there, but I can still make the introductions and help other people have a great tea vacation. And then obviously if I'm able to come, you know, maybe in the beginning I could actually host some as a way of letting people know about the tea Airbnb. So I honestly don't even know if I need to put it on actual Airbnb. I might start, you know, whatever, tbnb.com or whatever, and then have it be its own thing. And I think that if people got the rent, like the B&B and the experiences together, I could probably bring the price of the B&B down because like each trip would just be profitable. So like, you know, if you can get everything together, then, you know, the price for everything goes down. I can talk to my friends who are leading the tours, just like set up a base price for them and have it could be really reasonable. I mean, the hardest thing is always going to be the tickets, but like, you know, that's something, you know, I have no control over the price of international airfare, but I had that Midwestern mom had a 1 week tour for Scotland for $6K last year, sold out. That's great. I mean, maybe it's all there to be done. I don't know. It would be fun. Alrighty, I'm gonna get going. It's probably about time. I apologize. I know I still have comments I haven't answered here, but we have, I think I have pretty big things. Last thing says, your store is still pretty empty. We're working on it. 4 more days. We launched 4 new tea products on February 1st. If you want them, don't wait, because I mean, I hope we have enough. We have 4,000 bags of each of the new subscription teas. So that should last us a little while, but I can't make any promises because everything's been going crazy. If we really are able to sell those out, I will be very happy on one hand. On the other hand, I want to stay in stock. I want to make it easy for people to buy stuff. So hopefully that's going to be enough, and we can always restock more. It just takes a while to get them going. So we are definitely working on it. Sample tea set. The tea sets are back in stock if you want them. The samplers were in stock. They sold out again. We're having another shipment arrive in around 4 days. So by this time next week, they'll be back in stock. I hope they will be permanently in stock after that. We're not trying to make it hard. It's just we've had such a boom in people, which is great. I mean, it's really life-changing. Like, it's allowing me to spend a lot of energy on making content and also building our team up. So like, I've hired 3 new people in the last month to try to help with this. Somebody to handle our purchasing and to be able to help these restocks go faster. And then also somebody to help our TikTok shop, which is open, by the way. If you go on TikTok, you can buy on TikTok shop now. We're still working on getting the teas onto TikTok shop, but the tea equipment is on there. So very excited. Thank you again so much for your support. If you enjoyed the live stream, please do follow, like, subscribe, hit the bell, interact with the posts so the algorithm knows that you want to actually see more of my stuff. And if you want really good tea, go to jessie'steahouse.com. We do have some tea in stock. We're not completely out of stock. We have a lot that's still going on there. So thank you again so much, everybody. I'm going to head out. Have a great weekend and enjoy your time. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.